so let's assess this drama. Okay, so my understanding of how this started is that Noah made a video criticizing manosphere types. He's done a couple of those. I think it was Incel Street Interviews, to which Sneako responded pretty aggressively, and Noah, in no amount of time really, did a 51-minute response to Sneako. There's a bit of a back and forth going on. Apparently, well, I watched a bit of it. Destiny and Sneako were watching this video together on his stream yesterday. Sneako was getting very fucking angry, like, or just being very loud. Destiny says, "Hey, Noah Samson, Sneako says he can chat if you want. Great opportunity to spread your message." And I think Noah has a response in here. I think it's here. "No chance. I've seen how those convos go. Yeah, you stutter. You're inarticulate. You show you have low IQ. And finally, you have to walk back everything you say. I saw you talk with Vosh. We all did. It was pathetic." Oh, you're one of those pervs. Goodbye. Okay. So, yeah, Noah doesn't want to talk to Sneako. To be honest, based on what I saw from Sneako, who kind of looks like the Paul Joseph Watson meme here, is that I don't think Noah would have looked bad if he went on to this and spoke to him. From watching Sneako's reaction, I feel like Noah could have just sat there and been like, "You seem really triggered, bro. Like, why do you keep calling me triggered when it was..." He'll have to do the Noah Samson voice. "Sneako, why do you in fact keep calling me triggered when it is so clearly you who is in fact triggered?" Like, he could have done that, and like, because Sneako was getting really, really fucking mad at this response, but I don't know. Destiny looked uncomfortable. He did look uncomfortable. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't think Destiny really identifies with either of these guys. Anyway, Noah has a response to Sneako, and it's 51 minutes long, so we should just fire in, you know? Let's see. Masterclass in communicating with the manosphere. Go!
What's up, you little freaks? Welcome
up?
back to this place, aka my channel, aka the Noah Samson channel. So recently,
I'm so, like, I'm too old for this humor. I don't know. Okay.
I made a video on a street interview channel that I thought was a bit odd. The video was called Incel Street Interviews, and in it I talked about how a lot of the questions they asked in these interviews were loaded, narrative-based, and how the community that these videos have fostered is not exactly a great place to be if you're a lady, or if you're a man for that matter, or anyone, because of the way that it fosters misogynistic rhetoric. In my video—
Uh-oh. Kevin Samuel said it from Red Knight. Okay. So, I think if you're, depending on what your goal is, and I don't think Noah's goal is to change anyone's mind or to plant seeds or anything. I think Noah's goal is to entertain his own audience, which is fine. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that's why I got so disappointed or frustrated when Noah felt like he could like jump out of that lane and tell people that debate bros were like a problem and shit. Yeah, like, I don't know what's wrong with the idea of like diversity of content, but apparently a lot of people think it's a massive fucking issue, but okay. So the problem here, but that's relating to the idea of planting seeds. As soon as you say misogynistic, like, even people who are on the fence about this kind of stuff, and I imagine there's a lot of people, like the internet is kind of full of all kinds of weirdos. It's like it used to be in 2016 or in the race realist kind of era, like whenever, if you're arguing with someone, you just have to engage with their points. As soon as you call them racist, like, or worse, like say racist, like that's the argument. Like, this is bad because it's racist. Like that's when you're kind of just getting written off. Like, you have to, if you're going to challenge them, you have to kind of like actually
because you
explain what the problem is. So yeah, the whole thing, like, misogynistic, yeah. You have to kind of explain why that's bad, though, because some people don't really. First of all, these are the kind of people who think everything is misogynistic, you know, or at least they think that's how liberals see it. Thanks for the gifted tier 1 sub. Fish must win together.
I played some clips of a YouTuber called Sneako reacting to this interview channel when I was introducing the general response to this content from the manosphere. And this very same Sneako ended up stumbling upon my video while he was live streaming, and he reacted to it. For those who don't know, Sneako is a YouTuber who, until recently, was most known for his street interview style content. These videos are from his main channel with 1.2 million subscribers, and he's been uploading on there for almost 10 years. But recently, he started a second channel
I didn't know he's been at it for that long. Oh, so yeah, because he was about 14 when he started. Okay.
Called Sneako, where he does more live stream react style content. This channel has gained 400 of its 500,000 subscribers in the last 30 days, so it's growing quite rapidly. I think this is partly due to his presence on TikTok, where his clips go viral fairly often. But more consequentially, this rise is correlated with Sneako's seeming adherence to manosphere rhetoric, with much of the content having red pill, conservative, or anti-feminist themes. It was on the second channel that Sneako reacted to my video while streaming and uploaded a cut down version of this stream to the channel yesterday as a standalone video titled Sneako Haters Are Creepy White Knights. This is actually a very good point. I am Sneako's #1 creepiest.
It's actually a YouTube video where the chess pieces are in the right place. Is it the philosophy tube video where the queen is the wrong way around? I think it is. The black queen was the wrong way around. Well done. To be fair, this is just like a stock image, so okay.
Hater. But Sneako's response to my video was interesting. It was fun, okay? So I thought I'd take the opportunity to go through it and answer some of his questions and respond to some of the things that he says and see if we can all take something of value away from this. I'm going to be responding to most of his video, minus the parts where he repeats himself. So this video might end up being a bit long, but I think it could be worth it. And if you don't feel like sticking around for it, that is totally fine. Leave a like on the way out as a treat if you feel like doing that. Okay, without further ado, let's watch.
I'm bored already. This guy sucks. But there's another one of these. And he went on my boy, this fucking soy boy, Noah Sampson. Went on my boy, it's complicated, calling it incel street interviews. Whenever
he's, I can't really say he's white knighting because he's not white, but he's knighting. He's defending his friend, okay.
Man calls another man an incel, red flag.
So Sneako here says that it's a red flag when men call other men incels. But that raises the question, what if they're being incels or doing incel shit? We just aren't supposed to say anything because we're men? That doesn't sound like a great plan, because if the onus is on women to call out this kind of behavior, why would men that actively avoid talking about it amongst themselves ever choose to believe them? Also, he does...
I didn't know that. I didn't know that incel was like a write-off for it as well. Fuck. These people make it so difficult to engage because... I think the problem is like... If you've got these kind of people who have these very clear identifications for what they are and what they're not, then again, it's like, yeah, you have to just kind of address what the problem is rather than just apply the label to the thing you don't like and say, but yeah.
Some name calling. He calls me a name here. He calls me a soy boy. For the uninitiated, soy boy is a sort of derogatory term for a weak man. Urban Dictionary defines soy boy
because I don't think, wait, Sneako's not a fucking incel, is he? That's not the same as an incel. The thing about incels is like the whole thing of like you're trying your best, like you've never fucking had sex. You're trying your best, you never will because you're fucking ugly and because women are trash and whatever, because they only date up and you're too low to, like, that's like incel. So, yeah, he's more of a fuckboy than a fucking incel.
As being an effeminate male whose feelings get hurt far too often, usually resulting in some kind of pitiful retort or changing of the subject. And I must admit, he's got me there, okay? I am effeminate. I'm soft. I'm emotional, all right? I have a floral backdrop wallpaper in my room. I brush my teeth, and I floss, and I wash my ass. And I am sensitive, okay? I'll dip my toe into a la-la land and keep it in there until I'm crying. My feelings get hurt so often that they have visible scars on them. But I have no idea how Sneako could possibly know any of this about me, given that we are zero...
So you think Noah would be kind of aware there then, because like in the same way that calling someone like Noah a soy boy just like it just washes over you like fucking nothing. That's kind of how they feel when you call them incels. Anyway.
0.0 seconds into the video, but maybe he's a psychic. Let's find out.
Let's see this fucking soy boy say something different. Yeah, whatever.
Check out my cat.
Check out my cat. I'm a grown man with a mustache. How old are you, bro?
I'm 24. Throughout this response, he suggests that I'm 30, 34, and other different ages that I'm not, but I'm 24, which is actually right around his age, I believe. Sneako is 23, almost 24, according to Google.com's website, Google. But also here he says that I'm a grown man with a mustache as like an insult. Like grown men aren't supposed to have mustaches or something, as opposed to children.
Flossing in your room alone. This should be a red flag. This dude looks like 34. You shouldn't like...
Check out my cat. Check out my cat.
Oh, he's nice and safe. I feel comfortable with him. This soy boy is a safe space.
Glad to hear that, Sneako. I do like to keep things comfortable.
This soy boy is a safe space. It's like a fucking random manosphere word generator. Oh god. So, okay. We're 4 minutes in. Okay, there's not really much to respond to so far.
For everybody, so that's good. On the Noah Samsen channel, we pride ourselves on having the softest, cushiest, fattest, wettest, juiciest, grippiest echo chamber.
If you're gonna use incel as a way to make your point to someone, it has to be someone who's already kind of on board, you know? Like, and that'll happen where you have like left-leaning guys or liberal guys who still have a few backward views on women, or they just might be like, maybe there's something going on in their real life and they're getting kind of irrational about it.
Remember the
where
Holodomor?
You can probably say like, bro, you're being kind of an incel when you talk like that. You know, that's when it works, right? But not when you're talking to fucking Sneako. Like, okay. Or anyone like even close to that area, you know? Worst magician. Oh, nice. For some reason, my brain just kept reading nonce there. I don't like Noah, and I just found out about the other dude. I feel like that meme with a dude who is smoking in the background while two girls fight. Thanks for the sub.
Right. On the platform. Babito. Her name's
But if you make an Instagram for your cat, just like reevaluate your life.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the people who have Instagrams with cats, but like if you're a grown man with a mustache, you should not make a cat for
He
your...
didn't call Sneako. Yeah, but he called probably someone who's like Sneako adjacent an incel, right? Like, using incel as an argument to say like, whoa, that's kind of incel stuff, is they have to already have your understanding of what an incel is. Otherwise, it's like it's only for preaching to the choir. Yeah.
Your fucking Instagram for your cat.
So I'm not really...
Or even the fact that like the incel community, they still identify themselves as incels. So yeah, it's kind of the same thing. I feel like already they're like both people would just like talk past each other, because to Noah, Sneako is like incel, misogynistic, problematic, and all these words that mean nothing to him. And then to Sneako, Noah Samsen is a what, safe space, soy boy, lip cuck. Oh no.
Sure what his problem is with me making an Instagram for my cat, Babe. I made it mostly just because it's an easy way to keep my friends and family up to date on all the latest Babe news and events. A one-stop shop, if you will. And I know folks in the audience, you know, some of you are fans of that small furry animal critter. So yeah, seems like a just weird thing to get hung up on, but okay.
Instagram is for cat.
Goes Babito.
Not to... Bro, no one gives a fuck about your cat.
I do. Okay, I like her. You know? See, look.
I'm just noticing some of the comments in Sneako's chat. Where was it?
Bro.
I should cover it though, because there's some bad shit in there.
No one gives a fuck about your cat.
I do.
El soy.
Okay, I like her. You know? See, look, I like her. I like you. I give a hoot about you. Also, when he says that Instagram is for cat, not for cats, by this, he means that Instagram is for ladies, not meow-style cats like this one. And to this, I would like to ask humbly and with respect, why not both? Okay, so this next part gets really, really weird. He starts telling me that he wants to eat my cat, like eat Babe, this cat. Trigger warning, cat eating rhetoric.
I want to eat your cat, bro, on some Asian shit.
Hey everyone, today we're going to be looking at a
Let me eat your cat.
YouTube channel called...
Like your cat, now you're... hey, yo.
He goes on to clarify that when he talked about wanting to eat my cat, he was not, in fact...
Okay. I would actually pay money to see these two have a conversation because they both take such a long time to say nothing. Where are we now? 6 minutes? Okay.
Talking about cunnilingus with me. And I'm pretty sure he's doing this because he doesn't want to seem like
1.5x. No, I don't like going 1. I can go 1.25. I don't mind slow talking, okay? Like, that's not the problem, right?
Gay to his audience or something.
Gay.
I didn't mean I was gonna eat his cat. I meant I want to like literally cook his cat and eat it. Like the cat, right? The one with the Instagram. I want to use it for calories.
So I've seen Sneako talking to Destiny on like Fresh and Fit. I don't know why you have to do this when you're threatening to fucking eat a cat. Like, I know it's a joke, all right? But fuck me. Like, why are you doing this thing like, oh, I got banned from Facebook and from TikTok and from DLive and from BitChute, and it's because I speak the truth. I got banned because I speak the truth. What? And because I threatened to eat cats on a platform that has TOS against violent threats. It must be because I speak the truth about the COVID vaccine. Why am I getting censored? All I wanted to do was talk about how I wanted to eat a cat. Like, fuck off. Like, just read the TOS and stay within and stop thinking that getting banned for being like a fucking idiot makes you some kind of like martyr of freedom and shit. Jesus Christ.
I should have said that. God damn it.
Okay, well, thank you for clarifying that. Babe, you hear that? He wants to eat you for calories. Oh no. Looks like she's about to eat herself for calories.
Why do so many women think they have the golden pussy when every woman has one? So you think that guys want to submit to a woman?
Liberals don't even think you can ask questions that don't fit their agenda. What's wrong? It's a question on his channel. It has to agree with you. Whatever.
Wait, what was that question?
You can ask questions.
They have the golden pussy when every woman has one. So you think that guys want to submit to a woman?
Liberals
okay.
don't even think you can ask questions that don't fit their agenda. What's wrong? It's a question on his channel. It has to agree with you at every fucking second.
So no, the questions don't have to agree with me. As I go on to point out in my video, the problem with the questions that It's Complicated asks isn't that they don't agree with me, it's that they are often loaded, containing assumptions that most people are unlikely to challenge, and the channel uses these things to develop a narrative that modern women are entitled and delusional, which is then lapped up by the audience, by people like Sneako. This motivation and this narrative are both what I disagree with, because they hurt everyone. They proliferate hostile potential relationship environments for women, and lead men to harbor undue resentment towards potential partners, which in turn may hinder their ability to form and maintain lasting, healthy relationships. And I don't want either of those things, you know? I feel like my thesis is pretty well supported by the content of most of these interviews, but even if you disagree, I would love to hear an explanation as to how every single one of these videos' comment sections are riddled with misogynistic attitudes, if there wasn't some sort of through line of misogyny on the channel. We will get more into this later.
Jesus, JD Delphin, what the fuck? Have a little time out. Fuck, chill. Jesus Christ. Like, wait. Okay, I'm gonna put. Can chat just spam some shit for a wee while? As like, mod moment, yeah. I think when you time someone out, they lose their mod status. Fuck me. Banned for wrongthink. True. Get some Andrew Tates in the chat, some toxic boxes, some people runs, so we can bring the chat back up. Fucking hell. The woke moralists are here. Oh no. So the problem with what Noah's doing is he's saying things that the guys he's responding to all agree with, and then as if that's the argument. So he'll be like, so these guys will go around asking questions like, bruh, women are really fucking entitled, you know, women are shallow, delusional, entitled. And then Noah's going like, this show is problematic because they think that women are shallow and entitled and delusional. And that's misogynist. Like, okay, you have to, okay. That's what you have to counter though. Like, no one disagrees that they think that. They'll probably say that like very proudly. All right.
But for now, no, the issue is not as simple as the questions asked in interviews need to agree with me, because as I said, they don't. Okay, so next, Sneako goes on to sort of speculate about potential ulterior motives that I may have for making the videos that I choose to make. Keep in mind, this is all happening within the first minute and a half of my video.
Also be wary, and women, if there's any women watching this, don't you see right through the bullshit? You know that this guy's like, you know, like, hey, look at my cat, I'm a safe soy boy with the safe. This dude's trying to get pussy. But like, yeah, I'm not like those other alpha male triggering guys. Oh my God, those guys are so unsafe. Come here and let's go on a picnic with my cat.
In Sneako's mind, it seems like the only reason he could see as to why a straight man, like myself, might want to call out other straight men in a way that I often do on my channel is because I, quote, want to get some pussy. And yes, once again, he has exposed the truth, okay? As you all know, at the end of all my videos, I do display my full real phone number in these bright big letters with a big red arrow and text that says, "Cute girls, please text me. I am lonely and full of soy." Okay, but jokes aside.
It is kind of annoying that like Sneako will constantly talk about how people on the left will psychoanalyze him, even though that's kind of what he just did. Yeah. I don't know.
Sneako is actually referencing a real thing here, and bear with me. Performative feminism by straight men in order to attract the attention of women is absolutely a thing that happens. You will find this talked about in many, if not all, leftist spaces in one way or another. Barack Obama famously read Marx in college in an attempt to get girls. This is a screenshot of where he talks about it from his memoir. A related concept, the soft boy, is the evolution of the traditional jerk or fuckboy into a new, more pernicious form, one that conceals manipulative behavior behind a guise of emotional vulnerability. Well, look at that, she's fucking conked, man. Zonked out. Friend of the show, Alice Capel, in her video, Why Soy Boys Are So Hot, details some of the ways in which they also aren't so hot. And the thing that Sneako brings up here when talking about me is one of those things. Using social justice rhetoric and feminist presentation to still go on to reproduce patriarchal notions in their private lives. Like, you know, wielding these aesthetics, perhaps in the form of a YouTube channel, as a way to manipulate women into getting sex. Thank you for outlining it, Sneako. You are a feminist icon. I'm cognizant of these arguments because I think they're important. But the thing is, if you think that any of these things apply to me, Sneako, I need you to explain why. If you feel that I am somehow being disingenuous with my content, it would help me greatly if you could just give me a reason.
Make an argument,
give me an example,
bro.
Because so far you haven't. All you've done is acknowledge my beautiful mustache and my adorable cat and my adorable little cat's Instagram page, and gotten incredibly defensive about the idea that some men might be doing incel shit and that this incel shit might be worth calling out. And that last bit, if I were to guess, that's
That's the thing though, is the problem with I've said this before, the problem with Noah is that like he has so many default positions that he thinks are like everyone's default position, or he expects them to be. You can't just go to someone like Sneako and say, bro, this is bad because it's incel shit. That doesn't fucking mean anything. You have to kind of like elaborate a little bit more, like try to attack them like more like the foundation of what he believes about, whether it's about masculinity or about women or anything. You can't just say it's like it's bad because it's misogynistic or because it's incel. Like that's not really doing it. Yeah. And it's interesting that he's doing that because he's having a go at Sneako now for just using buzzwords and not making arguments either. But I don't know. So far, I'm not really seeing any. There's 10 minutes, no arguments really from either side.
Real reason. Because I'm a man that's doing what I'm doing, I must not actually believe the things that I say. But you see the dynamic that this sets up, right? This is
because like Sneako is like the opposite of like, even his content is not incel. Sneako's content is like, you can all become millionaires and get all the women. Like that's his content. That's not really incel content. That's like the opposite of incel. That's like, it's like pickup artist content. It's misogynistic content. It's whatever, like hustle culture content, like it's all those things. That's not incel though. Like
men don't call out other men, even if they might be worth calling out, because this is you're simping, you're white knighting to get some pussy. And that line of thinking is actually a really good example of how misogyny works. Okay, so in this video, Sneako does this thing a few times where he asks his chat to give their opinion on something and then gauges the validity of his own opinions based on how well it coincides with the chat's consensus. It is just incredible to watch.
Shut up, mustache! Bro, could somebody, like, are there any women in the comments who could see through the bullshit? Oh, okay, somebody saying all BS, Isabella's saying LMAO. Okay, there's a couple in here. Tell them, chat. Because you're gonna see this, you're gonna try to react to it. Oh, he's gonna cut this part out. Everybody here thinks you're a fucking limp. 6,000 people. People say punchable face, pussy, NPC activity, whale. There's no way this guy gets.
Oh my god. Wow. Yeah. So I feel like that. Yeah. Noah was kind of on something there that like that Sneako is kind of just like projecting his own intent upon Noah. Like the only reason you would ever do this is because you're trying to get laid. And that's kind of like, because that's the only reason he could think for doing that. Yeah. Yeah.
Any women, he's boring.
Oh no. Oh no, it was the screenshot. Oh no, we saw this yesterday in the
face, pussy, NPC activity, whale. There's no way this guy gets any women. He's boring.
Oh god. This is the thing. Oh fuck. I feel like the worst thing you can do with these types is to say like, yeah, actually, I do get laid. I do get women. Like, oh fuck, girlfriend moment. Oh no. The spacing does make it look like she's a friend who is a girl who is a friend. Yeah, it does. Oh no. Is he cheating? Oh shit. To be fair, Sneako's audience would like you're never on a beach with a girl unless you're with her as a partner, right? In Sneako's world. So I don't know. Fuck. Female associate moment. Yeah. Yeah, that's like a really difficult thing to get around though, like because that's kind of playing into their game a little bit.
You're saying predictable.
Joke's on you. I do get pussy. Like, okay, yeah.
Stuff. They're all calling you a fucking limp. What do you think about that? There's 6,000 guys watching this right now, but I'm the incel, right?
We sat down with the Noah Samson is Bad Club and asked them their opinion on Noah Samson. The results will shock you. So this is just really silly because aside from the obvious insecurity of having to continually throw his and his chat's insults at me, I have to ask, what else does he expect them to say here? He's been just nonstop shitting on me for the last 20 minutes and then decides to ask them what they think of me. And it's not that his viewers can't have an opinion about me or that their opinions are never valid, but like if I told every one of my subscribers to go down below and comment that the earth is flat, would it be smart to then scroll down and read this comment section as some important data set that should be analyzed when we're determining the flatness of the earth? I just love it, man. It's so silly. It's so fun. Also, when he says that part about him...
Bro, you know your chat is actually not empirical data. Boom.
Having 6,000 guys watching him and how that means he's not an incel, that is quite something. This is my audience demographic.
That was a really weird... Wait, what? Bro. That I've never seen this before. Oh shit. Fuck. Maybe I need to make videos about problematic alpha male types. Holy shit. I thought I was doing quite well when I had like 80-20 men to women in my chat. Because most of these channels I hear about, like, it's like 95-5 or some shit. Oh god. The hard man video doesn't count? Not really, because I mean, kind of. Like, that's just like a history video, basically. How do you get those stats? I don't know. Like, I think the more combative your channel is, like, the less women you get in it, because I guess that's just like social rules and shit. But yeah. Hassan is 75-25. Yeah. Yeah, I thought 80-20 was like a reasonable place to be. Oh well. This though, fucking hell.
Breakdown by gender. It usually fluctuates between 50 and 60% women, depending on the video. Shout out NB's almost at that 5%. We love to see it. We got to get those they, them numbers up, folks, though. Come on. Sneako has said before that his audience is 5% women. If that figure is incorrect, Sneako, feel free to post the updated stats. But like, based on these numbers, which one of these spaces is more likely to be fostering incel rhetoric? The one with 95% men, or the one where we're getting somewhat of a balanced input from everybody? I don't think it takes a lot to do the math on that one, you know. He does his ask the chat thing again later on in a more aggressive fashion.
Man, I got 6,300 people watching right now. If I'm full of shit, if I'm an incel, let's see what the chat thinks. There's 6,000 people in here. You're saying the status quo shit. What do they think? I mean, if I'm wrong, if I'm a fucking idiot, like my chat disagrees with me all the goddamn time. Just read my comment section. People don't blindly agree with me. I get challenged.
That is okay. So, Sneako, I'm pretty sure Sneako pulled his chat on whether or not he won the debate with Destiny, and like 70% of them said he lost. So, yeah, I don't know if Sneako's audience are quite the same hug box that like someone like Noah's audience would be. But I don't know much about Noah's audience. This is so stupid though. I have 6,000 guys watching me. How can I be an incel? Yeah, I'm pretty sure after Elliot Rodger did the shooting, his videos got a lot of views as well. Fuck.
I have open dialogue. I encourage freedom of speech, but everybody in here thinks you're a fucking simp. Every single person in here. It's been spammed on your face right now. Bro, I don't have an echo chamber. These people check me all the goddamn time. They can't wait to call me a bot when I slip up. They can't wait. They can't wait to call me an incel. They can't wait to check me. But every single person in here is calling you a fucking simp.
I'm not in an echo chamber. Why would you say that? My chat checks me all the time. Hey chat, Am I in an echo chamber? Also, when his viewers spam the word limp in all caps in the chat, I think this is supposed to mean L plus simp. Like how he calls Hassan Lasan, that's supposed to be L plus Hassan. It's a very clever trick and devastating to the ego. How we will recover, I know not. Or they might actually mean limp, as in like
Loa Lampson.
limp dick. And if that's the case,
Loa Limpson.
I don't know why they would expect my penis to be erect while I record YouTube videos. I like doing YouTube, okay, but not that much. If it is a woman's right to withhold sex in a relationship, should it also be a man's right to withhold financial support?
Yes! Why is this guy encouraging? Bro, what? You want to give all your money to a bitch?
No, Sneako, I don't want to give all my money to a bitch, at least as far as I know. I showed this screenshot because I think this is a very bad comparison to be making, and I can explain why here. This comparison asserts that exerting power over a man by taking advantage of his finances is morally equivalent to rape, and I think that's bad, personally. I'm not a huge...
Where's the rape? Wait, am I being dumb? Wait. If it's a woman's right to withhold sex, should it be a man's right to withhold financial support to her in response? That's okay. It's definitely coercive. Like, okay. Yeah.
I can explain why here. This comparison asserts that exerting power over a man by taking advantage of his finances is morally equivalent to rape, and I think that's bad, personally. I'm not a huge fan of that take. Like, the setup to this question. If it is a woman's right to withhold sex in a relationship, you realize this frames consent as if it's something that's up for debate. Like, when would it ever not be a woman's right to say no to sex? And no, of course I don't think women should take advantage of men for their money, but don't act like these are morally, ethically, or materially even in the same universe. Not when 9 out of every 10 rape victims are women, not when throughout history women have been barred from access to higher paying jobs, and often in turn subjected to the financial whims of their husband. The wage gap is real, you little...
Yeah, I do think if you're the kind of man who's agreed to financially support your wife, and then you're just like you're choosing to take it to wield that when you're not getting laid is pretty. Yeah, that's probably when there's a problem going on there.
Creepers, here's a good recent video that covers it a little bit. I'll leave it linked below. I think if you can look at all this and still not see an issue with this comparison, then you might just be doing some incel shit, you know what I mean? Because as much as it may feel like this channel is challenging the status quo for you by asking the difficult questions, in many ways it's actually just pushing its own version of the status quo. The one where we take street interview clips and from them surmise that women ought to be seen and understood as liars, contradicting themselves, full of themselves, and needing to be humble.
Why is it his fault for asking questions that point out delusion? You're mad at the question instead of the answer?
As a member of, once again, I'm not mad at the questions. I'm just not willing to ignore their obvious role in serving a broader narrative of misogyny.
Whoa, where did you come from, the fall guy? Even when they're married, sex is the duty of women. Oh no. I love it when the person I'm fucking is doing it out of duty. I love that. That makes me so happy, you know? When she's just like, gotta do my job, you know? Okay. Just doing my job. Oh, I suppose, you know, you support me financially, I'm just doing my job. No, I don't. That's actually, Jesus, that's actually not that attractive. Fuck me. Hey, JD Delphin. Hope you're doing all right there. You had some time in the fucking naughty corner, had some deep breaths. Your neck is properly supported. Jesus.
Many people in the audience even acknowledge that this is what's happening. He is telling a story, and that would be fine if that
Listen, we're a forgiving community here, but I think he just got a... Fuck me. All right.
Story didn't negatively affect the lives and worldviews of everyone involved. As a member of the Healthy Boys Only movement,
Healthy boys only and fucking soy boys with their cats.
I don't think that this is just the healthiest thing. Is Sneako opposed to the concept of health? Like, being healthy is good, right? Having healthy relationships, communication, and healthy, grounded in reality attitudes towards the people that we are dating. These are things that we ought to strive for, no? And the way that masculinity is so often articulated and understood.
No, I'm not giving him mod back. What the fuck's wrong with you? Like, I know he's sorry for it and everything. Like, people just, you know, they get a bit fucking out there. But, you know.
On the internet, especially in the largest communities where this happens, aka the manosphere. Well, I wouldn't exactly call it healthy. We've seen Andrew Tate capture the attention of millions of men, young men especially, while saying stuff like this.
My chick said, I want to do OnlyFans. I'm like, all right, then cool, go do it. How much you make? 10 grand, all right, give me 8. All right, cool.
What woman is going to give you 8 grand?
You're my woman, you're doing OnlyFans. You're selling my product. What the fuck?
Bang out the machete, boom in her face, and grip her up by the neck. Like, shut up, bitch!
Fresh and Fit is approaching 1 million subscribers while saying stuff like this.
I think if you're in a serious relationship with a girl, she should not have an Instagram. That's cheating, in my opinion. I think a woman having an Instagram is 100% cheating.
Are we just gonna act like these things?
Whoa. Oof. Whoa. Yeah, that's where you're I heard ABBA talking about this. Was it ABBA and Preach? ABBA was talking about how fucking he was dating someone once and no, wait, what the fuck happened? Wait. It was someone he knew. I think so. ABBA had slept with someone, and then she was talking about apparently she was with a guy afterwards, and he found out that she had slept with a black guy, ABBA, and that like ruined their sex life or some shit. Oh god, yeah, people, yeah. I've known, okay, in real life, I've known one guy like this, and he wouldn't let his girlfriend watch Game of Thrones because he was afraid she would see, like, I don't know, Jaime Lannister fucking and get horny. Like, yeah, which is pretty cucked, actually. Yeah.
Don't have broader societal implications? They do. Of course they do. I see videos all the time of girls talking about how their boyfriends have bought into these guys' bullshit and how it's directly harming them and their relationships. A recent really fucked up example is this 6th grade teacher talking about how this rhetoric has infiltrated her classroom in a pretty serious way.
So I'm a teacher and I teach 6th grade. We've been in school for 3 days now, and within these 3 days, the amount of young 11-year-old boys that have told me that they love Andrew Tate is
God.
Ridiculous.
Oh no. Of course they are. Oh no. And they all think they're like kickboxing champion hustler fucking pimps. Oh no. The tater tots. Wait. I'm not gonna be able to do this in time, am I? I wanted to get my Tate emoji. It's okay.
Man is really affecting the minds of young men. I had a boy today, 11, turn to a girl and tell her that she's fat. Women need to be thin. She sits at home and she eats all day, and that she's like every other girl in the world, and that she uses men to get money. And that
kids are so fucking delusional. Oh god. An 11-year-old. Whoa. Oh god, that little tater tot telling another 11-year-old that she's using her body to get money. Oh god. Thanks for the Prime sub, Commando Crab. This is amazing. This is brilliant. Okay.
He's a hardworking man and he works for his money.
Wow.
They're 11. Okay. You need to be aware of what your kids are watching, because this is ridiculous and it's really affecting kids, young kids. It's disgusting.
I don't need to go through every example of how the manosphere is distorting men and boys' attitudes towards women in negative ways. I'll leave a playlist linked in the description if you want to learn more.
The fucking Andrew Tate agenda. Oh no. That's exactly what it is. They were so focused on the queer, the trans agenda that they forgot about the fucking tater tot brigade. The tater tot fucking little bugger brigade. Oh no. Shit. Can you imagine? What if they all come into class bald with sunglasses on? Oh no.
It's called the Manosphere Deprogram playlist. Great work, team. Nice job. But the goal of Healthy Boys only, at least as far as it's been outlined in my brain and videos thus far, is to lift up the lads without having to put women down. It's that simple. If that makes us soy boys, then so be it. We can reclaim that word as being good, because if this is the alternative, then pass me those damn beans.
You know what this bitch said? She said that men are only valuable for their wallets. So what I'm saying is a natural response, and the fucking Healthy Boys only conveniently clipped it out. She's like, what do men have to bring to the table if women are the prize? She says, their wallets. Yeah, so what I'm saying is accurate. She belongs to the streets. She's sucking your energy. She's not worth my time. If she thinks I'm only a wallet, get the fuck away from me. But clip that out because you're trying to get some coochie.
I didn't clip anything out. I played that clip in its entirety later in the video. The reason I didn't play it here is because in this sequence, I was setting up a joke to transition into my ad read. It wasn't important for the function that this sequence served to see anything besides Sneako's reaction. That's why the Joker theme is playing, because it's, you know, cinematic. Anytime someone starts going misogynist manifesto mode, throw the Joker music on it and it just works.
I don't care. Give me more money for my pussy. Whore. She said men are only worth their wallet. And you know what this bitch also has?
Looks like Tate may have been banned from Facebook. Well, doesn't he have like 1 million accounts on each one? Like fan accounts? Isn't that, I thought that was how he got Andrew Tate banned from Facebook and Instagram. Oh, well. Oh no, free speech.
She has a podcast called the Kill All Men podcast, and we reacted to it on the stream. She has a podcast called the Kill All Men podcast.
Oh no. Is Noah gonna say oh wait. No, maybe I will guess, because if I'm wrong, it's fine. Is Noah gonna say it's not that bad because it's like systemic violence against women, not men? Because systemic violence is it gonna use the systemic argument? Oh no.
Yeah, so yeah, but by all means, put the evil Dark Knight noise over here. But I think maybe she deleted it.
Maybe not.
Let me show you. Right here. This is her podcast. Kill All Men, the Janeway. Ready?
Hello, and welcome back to Cam, aka Kill All Men.
So I actually didn't know this. This is interesting. And, well, you may be surprised to hear me say it, but I think that this is bad. I think it's a bad name for a podcast. Kill All Men is not a slogan that I think should be used or promoted. I think it's inflammatory and unhelpful for the cause of feminism. That being said, let me ask, is the name of this podcast in any way representative of its actual content? Like, is this podcast advocating for men to be killed or anything even remotely close to that? And well, no, it isn't. I listened to a few episodes and it's just a podcast. It's like a dating podcast, or it's just her podcast where she sometimes talks about dating and Tinder experiences and life stuff. Maybe there's more to it. I didn't listen to all of them because I'm trying to get this.
Is that really? When I see that as a title, is there any like
video out in a timely manner? But there are only 12 episodes released over the course of 2 years. So if I missed the one where she calls for genocide, feel free to leave the link below.
So why do these people think you need to call for genocide to be okay? So I think the problem there would be like the argument against this is like, even though it doesn't have the same systemic ramifications as men podcasts saying kill all women, it's not just reverse the roles. That the problem is that when you use that systemic argument, it becomes an excuse. It just means that like there's no limit, really, is there? It's the kind of argument that when, you know, we've always had this fucking argument. Like people will do the thing where they're like, oh, you know, white genocide's not real. Like white people have the power. There's never gonna be a white genocide. And then the other hand, they're like, oh, but if it did happen, it'd be pretty cool, you know? Huh, nice. And the problem with that is that people don't exist entirely as systems. They don't see themselves in that way. So the problem is when you have this systemic justification, it kind of just allows people to act with impunity towards certain groups, because as long as it's not, they don't have the systemic power, they can kind of do what they want. And that's a pretty dark place to be, I think. Like, yeah. Because people don't, like, not even to mention, that's why the whole thing, like, there's no such thing as anti-white racism. Well, okay, but
because
when you have fucking like in like black communities where they will impugn other black people for dating white women and shit, which does happen, what else are you gonna call that? Like, of course, and in that situation, the white person can get hurt for that. Like, because like, just because you don't have systemic power, it doesn't mean you can't hurt people. Yeah.
So, well, again, it's a bad...
Thanks, loldongs32 with your one sub. Thank you very much.
Bad title. This title is obviously supposed to be inflammatory. Its intended purpose is to trigger manosphere and feminist types of guys. And as cringe as I think most rhetoric aimed at triggering anyone is, it also does occasionally have some benefits. Like, for instance, sometimes this rhetoric will get people like Sneako to ask questions like this.
But imagine if I had a podcast called the Welcome Back to Caw, the Kill All Women podcast. Suck my dick, healthy boys.
Yes. Reverse the roles. Squad W, Sneako. Yes. The unstoppable.
Your fucking content sucks.
And when you ask questions,
No, but systemic violence is against women, not against that.
like this, you get answers like this. This is data from a 2019 United Nations global study on homicide. And while the gender breakdown of homicide victims in total was strongly slanted towards men, at 81% men and 19% women, as shown on the left, when it comes to gendered intimate partner homicide, this is and has always been overwhelmingly committed against women, 82%.
Yep.
To 18%. To quote the study, these findings show that even though men are the principal victims of homicide globally, women continue to bear the heaviest burden of lethal victimization as a result of gender stereotypes and inequality. So no, if you made a podcast called Kill All Women, this would not be the same thing, because femicide is already happening, and it's happening at the hands of men.
Now I'm just giving him
So you can say it's not the same thing, but I mean, he's already acknowledged it's bad. So, like, I don't know why the problem with, like, the argument works, like, it makes sense, but it only works to explain why one is worse than the other, or why one would have more, like, negative impact than the other. But it doesn't really go to the point where that just basically means any, like, minority power holding group can just, like, they can just do whatever the fuck they want. And they can always come back to this whole thing that it's like, that it's not systemic. I also find this kind of like this, people need to remember that this kind of thing is like, when you analyze systems and when you engage in theory and all that, it's supposed to be a lens of analysis. It's not supposed to be something that you fucking rip out your eyeballs and replace them with. That's not really what the point in that is. It's the same thing with, like, profiteering, right? So if you are into Karl Marx, you probably believe something that, like, all profit making is unethical. Because however you make a profit, like, profit is always earned in some way from someone else who is working harder than they're paid for. And if you're, say, like, a landlord, then it doesn't matter how good you are as a landlord. The fact that you're making profit off owning that house is you're taking something from someone else that you didn't really earn or work for. And the problem there is that you get this rhetoric that's just like anti-landlord, like, as a flat fucking thing, even though most landlords don't really earn that much more than their tenants. And if you've ever rented enough places, you know full well the difference between a well-regulated or just an ethical landlord compared to an unethical one is fucking huge. Like, you can lose sleep thinking, like, worrying about what your bad landlord might do to you because they're so bad sometimes. You know, you can hesitate, you can be trapped, you can hesitate to move out because you know your bad landlord won't give you back any of your deposit, and that'll fuck you financially with the next time you move in somewhere else. So it's like a night and day difference. And, like, the problem with analyzing people, like, not just as people, but purely from a systemic lens, mean you get fucking brain dead policies. Like, when was it Philosophy Tube? I don't want to miscard. Never mind. It was someone who said that, like, a good policy, like in the UK, would be to expropriate all the landlords without any compensation, because your compensation is that you've been profiteering undeservedly for decades. And that's like, bro, that's the stupidest fucking argument you've ever, like. Yeah.
A result of gender stereotypes and inequality. So no, if you made a podcast called Kill All Women, this would not be the same thing, because femicide is already happening, and it's happening at the hands of men.
And now I'm just giving him more content too. That's the funny part. He's gonna clip this part out because they love getting reactions like this. They want to go clip it up, and they're gonna make me see. They're gonna put intense music, and I'm gonna go bah! They're gonna say that he's like unhinged or some shit like that. This guy's sitting in there like, it's so predictable. The classic soy boy lib with an Instagram cat page and your fucking mustache and you're 30.
Look, I get.
How can you call someone predictable in one breath and then call them a soy boy libcuck the next? There's a problem here, right? Fuck me. Because Sneako does see this thing where everyone just, where everyone kind of, like, toes a line, you know, like, kind of like uncritical, sort of like center left leaning liberal who just kind of touts every politically correct line and all that. And he probably hears enough of them that they become like bots to him. That's his thing. So it's like a dogma that he notices. The problem is, there are two kinds of dogmas. There's, like, establishment dogma, I guess, and then there's also, like, anti-establishment dogma, where you basically just make your entire narrative to be the opposite of whatever the the establishment is saying, which basically means that the establishment is dictating your positions for you. That's why Sneako is just as predictable as everyone else he talks about. Like, if you want to be a black sheep and your way of being a black sheep is just to do the complete opposite of what all the sheep are doing, then you're not really bucking a trend, are you? You're just letting the sheep dictate what you do, but the other way around. What was the fuck? I don't know why I was reading this, but it explained a lot for me. Where is it? Fuck, I want to find this quickly. Yeah, it's it's from Mao's Little Red Book. I just love this quote because it's so... We should support whatever the enemy opposes and oppose whatever the enemy supports. Like, what the fuck are you, a fucking Sith Lord? Like, what? Anyway, but I feel that's kind of what Sneako does. Apart from with the enemy, it's the establishment. John McDonnell moment. Oh, God. What if they support you? Well, that would be incredibly tactical, wouldn't it? Oh, shit. So true, Mao. Soy clap, I know. Doesn't that explain like every fucking tanky confrontation we've ever had in this community, though? Like, oh no. Every chatter who comes in, like, and just opposes like every humanitarian principle on the grounds that like America is partially supporting it or whatever the fuck. Anyway. Or liberals even, not even America. Yeah.
Get it. It's a manly, burly, intimidating piece of facial hair, but I'm not 30, I'm 24. And again, the cat Instagram page, what?
It is a very large mustache. Anyway.
What's the problem? Okay, you know what? Go follow Babito, everybody. Come on. She's a cutie and she will need the confidence boost after being epically destroyed by this YouTube personality.
I want to like literally cook his cat and eat it.
But like, look, man, I don't need to take you out of context or cut things from your response in order to show people why the stuff you're saying is bad. I feel like I'm doing just fine in this video while going over everything that you said. I know I used a clip of you with scary music in my last video, but that video wasn't about you. It was about the channel you were reacting to. And a seething, screaming, maulding reaction
like
that,
it's getting so removed. Oh no.
Calling a random woman that you don't know a whore for no reason, that literally does not require context. It's a self-contained example of why the ideology you seem to have ascribed to, the red pill, if we're looking at any of your recent content, this ideology is turning you into a bit of a goblin, man. In the thumbnail of your YouTube video about me, you added quotes to it that said, Sneako sucks. And that's not something I've ever said in the video. In fact, in that video, I didn't say anything about you. I played a clip of you saying the types of things that you say all the time on your stream, so if playing clips of you saying the things
I find it really hard to pin down because I don't know if insecure applies to Sneako, even though he behaves like in such an insecure way, but then at the same time, he also doesn't do a lot of the things that insecure people would do. Like, the amount of times I've heard him say, just like so nonchalantly and like almost proudly, that his community, 70% of his community thought Destiny won that debate with him. Like, I don't know. I do think Sneako is like a little bit more socially aware than the average like red pillar, which is not a very high bar to cross, but fucking yeah, he's just a wacky boy who is slowly getting radicalized by a guy who thinks he's subhuman. So fucking Fuentes and shit.
That you say.
Imagine misquoting someone in a thumbnail though, eh? That never happens.
Translates to me telling you that you suck, then maybe you just actually kind of suck, you know? It's a possibility. It is. Okay, so firstly, this guy's an NPC. And by that, I mean, he's just using a dialogue tree. He has a list of questions that he's asking, and he rarely ever deviates from the list.
What? How is that an NPC? Because he's asking questions that expose their nonsense?
So in video games, NPCs, the in-game AI characters, usually have a set number of possible responses when you engage with them. This game mechanic is called a dialogue tree. It looks like this. And when you watch the street interviews, specifically examples like the one I am talking about at this point in my video, you can see the dialogue tree in full effect. It's not just the fact that he's asking questions. It's that he continues down his list of pre-written questions, regardless of how people answer. Or if any deviation in the answers occurs, it is to follow a different path on the same tree. It's not a natural interview cadence, and I feel like people are able to pick up on that. Especially you, Sneako, given that you spent a lot of time and built the majority of your audience doing street interviews. With the dialogue tree, though, he is building each question on top of the last, while baking assumptions into many of them, to lead subjects to the conclusion that he—
Wait, did he just turn off to read from his script? Like, wait, what the fuck?
And built the majority of your audience doing street interviews. With the dialogue tree, though, he is building each question on top of the last, while baking assumptions into many of them, to lead subjects to the conclusion that he and the audience so desperately want to hear.
I think he was supposed to put an animation over that and he forgot, because that's what I'll do. I'll usually highlight the bits that I'm going to have a visual over, and oh no. Whoops.
Where women be contradicting themselves in this.
No, the way I should say there is one video where for some reason one of my images just got like fucking snapped into the middle, like to the other end of the screen that it wasn't supposed to be on, and at the bottom, and it just looks really dumb. I wish I could find it, but yeah.
Day and age.
Oh, he's talking about a script while he's reading a script. Well, that's really okay. Listen, I'm stupid. Okay.
Wow, that says a lot about society and modern females. Wow.
But the narrative doesn't work if they don't answer the question how we all know they're gonna answer. Bro, how are you so stupid that you don't realize the narrative isn't a narrative if they don't answer exactly how he thinks they're gonna answer?
Okay, listen to what he just said there. The narrative doesn't work if they all answer how he knows they're going to answer. Sneako, that's exactly how it works. If he knows how they're going to answer, why is he asking them questions? Like, he's so close to getting it, you know, but just also so far.
He's asking those questions because he knows what they all say, because when you talk to enough women, you see the delusion. But I know you're sitting in your house and this is your way to get some fucking four once in a while by being the safe soy boy, but start talking to these hoes and you're gonna see that they're all programmed to think this shit.
So firstly, I'm sitting in my house, Sneako, because that's where I film my YouTube videos. It looks like you may be doing the same right here, and that's okay. Sitting in your chair at your computer doesn't make you any less of a man. But if you really must know, Sneako, I am seeing a girl right now. It's going well, thank you for asking. You probably think I'm lying.
Oh, no, don't do it again. Oh, no. No. Well, actually, I do get some pussy. Oh, no. Okay.
So just humor me here, okay? Play along. I have yet to see this sort of programming that you're theorizing about. And come to think of it, I actually haven't seen this in any of my prior relationships, nor any interactions that I've had on dating apps. And that's anecdotal, of course. That isn't everyone's experience. But it isn't any more anecdotal than thinking that this programming exists because you watched a weird guy yell incel shit at women on the street.
Liberals are so fucking stupid, they think that questions are triggering. He's literally not even giving a point of view. He's asking questions in a way that expose the truth about what people think. And fucking libs will still get triggered over it. You see, this is why freedom of speech is dead. Even in the beginning of all of his videos, it says the questions do not necessarily reflect the interviewer's opinions. He's not even saying his opinion. He's letting the girls say their bullshit for the video.
Sneako here references how at the start—
If I were to guess, this podcast that they're talking about, these street interviews, sorry, what podcast? Yeah, these street interviews he's talking about, there probably is just a lot of like, they've only chosen the interview answers that they want for their content, for their narrative. It's a very typical thing for street interviewers to do. Because if you're a street interviewer and you don't get the answer you want or the interview you want, why the fuck would you put it on your channel? You can literally just go around all day interviewing people until you've got something that's like perfect for your narrative. Yeah, street interviews are really dumb.
Of each video, the interview channel puts up a disclaimer. It says the opinions captured in these videos do not necessarily reflect the views of the creators. And he uses this fact to talk about how, therefore, the questions he asks cannot have any opinions baked into them because he said they don't. But the obvious response to this is, what if he's lying? People lie. They lie on the internet all the time. And if we are to meaningfully engage with the content of these interview videos, I don't think you can really make the case that this disclaimer is true. His bias is consistent across different sets of questions, different people, and each of the videos on his channel. It's consistent down to the comments that the channel owner himself has chosen to press the heart button on. They're all saying different versions of the same thing. Thank you for exposing these delusional women, It's Complicated channel. Are you just gonna ignore all of this because they're telling you what you want to hear?
If women think men are trash, why are they so interested in getting his commitment?
I mean,
Good.
Maybe for security?
And, well, no, that's not what this is. By asking that question, if women think men are trash, why are...
It's such a simple answer. If they don't agree with the premise of the question, they could just say, no, I don't think men are trash, but they do.
This is an important point that Sneako brings up here. I saw it a lot in the comments on my video. And the thing is, there's a difference between someone making the statement that men are trash and them not correcting an interviewer when he inserts that premise into a two-part question. One is an active choice, the other is passive. And this is tricky. You know, it's subtle. You have to be paying close attention to catch it. And that's what makes this style of content, specifically narrativizing pre-scripted street interview interactions, so nefarious. Because, like, are people on the Las Vegas Strip at night paying close attention? Well, sometimes, sure, there are people that are, but mostly they're not. At least not as much as they might normally be. They're with their friends. They're on camera. They've been drinking. There's a lot of factors that apply here that don't apply in other places. And just because they're consenting to being interviewed doesn't mean they can't also get taken advantage of while being interviewed. Sneako makes a related point later on in his reactions. You're pulling people aside on their night out, putting a bright light and a camera on them.
But why are you trying to victimize these people like, oh my God, you're flashing a camera? They don't need to be in this. I hate when people do, they're on a night out and you're flashing a giant camera and light right on their face. They don't need to be there. Handing them a mic, you're literally pointing a camera and handing them a microphone. Like, look how liberals fucking victimize everything as if they're not capable of saying no.
Feminine liberation, female liberation, Sneako. With the reverse feminism. Ooh.
Go to an interview.
Questions on the spot. I'm confused here because Sneako is disputing what I feel like are some fairly uncontroversial observations. Like on a basic level, having a bright light shine in your face, or being drunk, or being...
Have you stopped beating your wife yet?
...out late at night on the strip with your friends. Do these help or hinder your ability to answer questions?
I probably agree with 95% of Noah's politics, but he's so condescending it hurts. Noah doesn't really reveal much of it. Okay, do you not notice this? Like, if you're a video essayist, like Noah, like I haven't seen that many videos, but I don't think I've ever really seen him take a side when it comes to like a policy or like a specific position. Or have you, like, does he do that? I think he's just a general left winger, and the problem with that is, it's not even a problem, but people just probably like project whatever they like their politics onto him. You know, they'll just assume like, well, he talks like me on this issue, so he must agree with me on X, Y, and Z as well. You know. That definitely happens. That's why I ended up getting so many fucking tankies in my Discord when I first started it. Because, I don't know, because I guess I made a video about, like, in the 30s of people beating up fascists, and it was like, oh, he agrees with me on A. He must agree with me as well on B, C, D, E, F, G. I'm like, oh. And then I made a video about how I don't agree with F, and they're like, oh. Oh, no, loner box. Oh, no. Have you heard that...
In a thought.
Whoa, shit. Have you heard that Loner Box has now turned into a liberal? Like, no, it's just you just assumed what I believe. Yeah.
Manner. What about all three of these things at once? Like, you're not going to these places to find people at their best. If we're being charitable, you're doing it to find people in their most talkative state, maybe, and most likely to opt in to being interviewed. But given that we know how these interviews are structured and framed and interpreted by the audience, being charitable isn't really an option. We know why he's there. Read the comment sections.
Most people ask the same fucking stupid questions over and over again. I've never heard detailed, really good questions like it's complicated. He asks the best street interview questions I have ever seen, and I do this shit. I do this shit professionally.
I know you do, Sneako. I've seen your content. I actually quite like some of the street interviews that you've done. I think there are times when you've been able to humanize the random people you come across in a way that's very entertaining. But that's why it's just so disappointing, sad even, that you've allowed red pill ideology to poison your brain into losing touch with what makes your own shit actually good. At times. Because this channel is giving you the anti-feminist, misogynistic narrative that you happen to agree with right now, you're overlooking the fact that this content even has a narrative at all. And I think for a lot of your fans of your older content which seem to mostly avoid this sort of thing, seeing you fall for the bait is a sad thing to watch. When they tell you that you fell off, they're not talking about your subscriber counts or your TikTok views or anything like that. No, you're doing just fine on that front. They're talking about the quality of your work. They're telling you that your content no longer moves them in a way that it once did. At least that's what it seems like to me. But that's just a theory. A film theory from seeking long-term.
Isn't it funny that the guys who take this position are always the creepiest looking? He looks literally just like Lasan. He looks just like every fucking white knight dude.
When he says Lasan here, he's...
They do have like the similar hair going on, I guess. Yeah.
Referring to Hassan, as in Hassan Piker, Hassanabi. Hey man, in what universe is telling me that I look like Hassan Piker supposed to hurt my feelings? No, please stop it. That's so mean. Oh, that's so disrespectful. Here's another case of him directly asking his audience to validate him.
They always got this hair and a creepy mustache, and they're always like bordering around 30.
Julian Assange.
35. It's always the creepy guys who end up like being the champion for women. The male feminists are the creepiest looking fucking dudes. Why is it always these guys calling us incels?
You know what? I actually think there would have been more onus on Sneako to justify his positions than Noah, really. if they ever spoke, you know? The problem is that Noah's argument so far is basically like, bro, you're being duped by incel misogynist content. And then it's like, and then the problem is Sneako might try to ask him to justify like that claim. And then that's where things might get a bit rough. I don't know though. Yeah, I just... I always feel like I don't really know if I could ever, like, if I would ever make a video about. I don't know if I could ever make a video about someone that I wasn't willing to talk to. Yeah. But.
Who looks more like an incel, me or him?
Mods, please ban General M. Lorna Box, do you agree with Destiny in general or not? Think some of his rhetoric on like women issues can be a bit off. I guess I'm more left-leaning economically, but foreign policy stuff pretty aligned, I guess. I don't know. Some things, and some not others. Wait, where the fuck is... What's General M doing? Where the fuck are they? I can't see them in chat. Oh, okay.
Him, like objectively, but I don't call people incels. It's always them.
These are quite frankly hilarious to me. You guys like me, right? You think I'm good and he's bad, right? Good, bad? Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you for this helpful statistical information. Pew Research could never. But see, the thing about incels is they don't have a look. I mean, sure, generally speaking, more attractive people are less likely to fall down a red pill, black pill, incel rabbit hole. But I mean, what about Elliot Rodger, the incel spree shooter? Probably the most infamous incel of them all. He was a cutie, man. Cuties can be monsters. And I'm not calling you a cutie or a monster, but you use the same rhetoric as the monsters. And I personally don't think that's very cute. And like, I'm not even gonna try to...
Where'd he stand on the Rittenhouse issue? Fuck off. I need to have a Rittenhouse debate with someone. I just need it out there on the record. And preferably someone who will try to make arguments, because the only one I had was with fucking Quack Quesadilla, who like, I asked him one question about like, I can't remember what I asked him. Did I ask him like who he attacked with a gun or some shit? I don't know. And then he just started soying out about how I was like, whatever.
Untangle this because it's full of so many assumptions and problematic notions that it's
problematic. I'm a man calling men problematic, and shut the fuck up. You're using all the bitch insults, man. That should be a wake-up call enough for you.
Using words that are in the dictionary.
Do you see how they're both just like they're both just begging the question so much? Like in a nutshell right there. Like Noah, like, you do realize you're doing incel talking points, and that's problematic. You realize that's bad, right? And Sneako, like, whoa, you just said problematic. You do realize that's really, like, soy indicator. Like, come on, like, you got, it's just completely opposing foundational beliefs here. Oh, God. So do you think it was self-defense or not? I think it was self-defense, yeah. I think it was actually a surprisingly easy self-defense call. I'll go that far as well. Doesn't mean I like the guy. Guy's a fucking moron, but like, okay. Cancel that. But taking the gun was stupid. Yeah, of course it was. Yeah, of course. He was 17. I don't know if a 17-year-old should be wandering around in a fucking riot with a gun. Yeah. Should probably get some experience first. But you know, I don't think making a bad decision means you waive your right to self-defense. So, yeah. He clearly wasn't experienced. He let himself get separated from his group and ended up surrounded by a fucking angry mob and shit. So, yeah, that's kind of dumb. How do you feel about him becoming a right-wing talking? I mean, he was always going to, wasn't he? Regardless of what he believed before then. See, 404 gender not found. This is why I get so blackpilled on the discussion, though, because he did not brandish. Brandishing. I have a fucking toy gun. Where is it? Fuck you. All right, we're doing it. Look at this. I'm not even American. I'm not even fucking American. And I will show you. This is how much you can absorb from just watching the fucking trial.
Because you
This is not brandishing. You walking around with your gun is not brandishing. This is brandishing. Okay? That's brandishing. He did not brandish. He didn't brandish shit. The only evidence you have that he brandished was like that one 6-pixel Where's Waldo image where actually the thing that was supposed to be where he turns left-handed for some reason and what looks like his right hand is actually the front light of a car. So, let's go brandish. Dark brandish. Giga chat, all right.
That's a feminine trait. Fellas, is it gay to talk?
But like a woman, they can do about anything they want, you know? Because men are dumb enough to fucking pay for it, or men are dumb enough to do it.
This is great, but I think it's also rare when it comes to...
He walked in with an AR-15 in a protest area. I think that should count. No, it doesn't. No, that's not. No, not. Like, not in the United States of America. No. You can say he morally made a bad decision going there with no experience, but that's not the same as brandishing. If someone is like, I've only been to the United States like twice, right? I once walked out of a fucking cinema to see like 20 fucking guns in my face from a bunch of like guns rights protesters. And I was like, fuck, am I gonna die? Because it's the first time I've ever seen like that much weaponry so close to me, apart from being in fucking Lebanon or some shit. And then I'm like, wait, are you guys gonna kill me? Like, and then I just like said hello to one of them and they were just like, just kind of like friendly, chatty, like dumb shit Republican. And then, yeah, but that's not brandishing, right? Like, that's what they do. And if you walk around with a gun held down, like, you're not technically threatening anyone. You're saying, don't do anything to me. That's the point of open, that's how open carry works.
Yeah, it's great when they call men dumb.
When I said this is great, I was specifically referring to this guy's decision to challenge the interviewer's loaded question here. The fact that he said that men are dumb enough to pay for it is irrelevant to this point. But even if it were relevant, you aren't allowed to be upset at that, Sneako, because you spread that exact same sentiment about women in every single video. You can't get mad at negative generalizations when that's literally all you do now.
Yeah, and he said media training. You need to make sure that you have media training to ensure your opinion aligns with the mainstream views so that you don't stumble and point out your own bullshit.
I never said that anyone needed to be media trained. I was pointing out that regular people...
Wait, what was that? Was that from him? All right, sorry. Us Fish Must Swim Together. Thanks for the gifted tier 1 sub. I think I missed that. Thank you.
People aren't. And that's why manipulating them with rhetoric is generally easier to do than it is to, say, a politician or a popular online...
Noah's actually completely correct here. I think he needs to... If you use an example the other way around... Fuck, how would you do that? To Sneako. Like, if you walked around saying, like... why do you think it's okay if you like interviewed people saying, why do you think it's okay for men to objectify women, and then just put the mic in front of them? You know, that's like a really leading question. You know, if you can demonstrate to Sneako how it works both ways, it works the other way around as well, and how you would probably be thinking, this interviewer's a bit of an asshole, right? Kyle, okay, one more. I know I said in my comment, I think we should just change the legal definition. You were correct. I'm disagreeing with the current law and what Kyle did, not saying he met the legal standard, but a moral one. Yeah, no, my position is both moral and legal. Like, obviously, I wouldn't make a legal argument just because. I think morally, if you're in a country where open carry has been a thing for a pretty long time and someone's open carrying but pointing the gun down, you shouldn't attack them. That's it. And if you do attack them, then it's kind of your fault if something happens. Especially given the fact that even when he got chased, he tried to run away first. And then it was only after someone threw a bag at him and then a shot went off behind him. Then he turns around. Then the guy grabs his gun and then he shoots. So it looks like he kind of he waited until the absolute last minute.
Remember the Holodomor?
So yeah, even morally, like, And I don't even think he turned around. I think he was caught up with, wasn't he? Anyway, Ganimat with the prime sub. Thank you very much. Anyway, no more.
All of Ben Shapiro's...
Yeah. Noah, if Noah needs to he needs to do the olive branch. He needs to like empathize with the opponent, because Sneako would understand exactly what's going on here if he used the example of like a ultra feminist person like interviewing a man in the street saying, why do you think it's okay for men to to objectify women, like just something like that, you know, like that's like a really simple example, and you would think, yeah, this interviewer kind of has a bit of a bias, yeah.
Most viewed videos are videos of him dunking on random college kids. If random college kids were media trained, that content wouldn't exist because they wouldn't give him enough leeway to allow him to sustain his narratives. That's how this works. Rhetoric is a tool to achieve an end, and sometimes people use this tool to promote incel shit. This is always going to be easier to do with a random person on the street than it is, say, a feminist scholar. So why blame society when you could be the one changing your behavior? But this only works as a gotcha if we assume that society cannot change. If society
dumb liberal bullshit, society's not going to change. Only fucking soy boys like you change. Men objectify women. That's the point of going out, and women live in a lie. We go out so that women can look like objects, and then we give them attention. That's what it is. And you're like, but women
I take it back. We need a different example. Oh no. Okay. Fuck, what would a bad faith liberal interviewer say that would set Sneako off? Why do you think it's okay for men to treat women like slaves? There we go. I don't know, something like that. Just, it could be really, it doesn't need to be complicated, okay? Just, you know.
Are queens and should be looked at for their personality. No, you need to be a woman needs to be an object of beauty, you fucking idiot. Society's not going to change. This is evolution. This is basic biology. Your liberal bullshit is not going to forward the human race. It's going to make men into pussies, and it's going to make women stronger.
I feel like I don't even need to respond to that clip. To be honest, I probably don't need to respond to most of these, but I felt like writing a bunch today, so sorry. But okay, Sneako's concern here seems to be that if we acknowledge people's criticisms of things like catcalling and then attempt to change society accordingly, that will mean that men will be unable to approach women and that this will have implications on an evolutionary scale. But this would only be true if catcalling was the only way to approach women. And thankfully for us, this is not the case. Men approach women all the time and successfully strike up conversations. And they do so without having to be disrespectful or creepy. For these guys, even if they get turned down, they're able to experience that and still be normal about it. Like, hey, she said she had a boyfriend. That's cool. I wish her well, and I'm on my way. I'm not going to speculate as to
why would it be worth asking Sneako why he's worried about women becoming stronger. Surely, a top bloke, a top G like you should be able to handle that, you know? Why are you worried about women becoming stronger?
Whether or not she was lying, because I am normal. I can take a hint. The reason the manosphere doesn't hear about guys like this is because guys like this aren't plugged into the manosphere. They have girlfriends or wives, or they date casually without resentment. But those are just the chads, Noah. They have the best skulls. Attractive people are more attractive. The sky is blue. That doesn't mean all women want a guy who looks like this. Most women look at these black pill rating charts and they laugh. If you don't believe me, I encourage you to talk to the women in your life. Show them this image and ask them what they think about it. Seriously. Have a conversation. Maybe you'll learn something. But if you go in with the black pill mentality that women actually just don't know what they want and will always go for Chad no matter what because of biology or whatever, you probably won't learn that much. And you know, another thing, even if you're a chiseled piece of sexiness, women have these things called brains, and that means that if you're funny or charming in a way that they appreciate and you have good intentions, then you'll probably be fine. It'll take a little time, it'll take trial and error and learning to deal with rejection, but that's okay. That's part of the process. Dating is not easy, but it gets easier if you make it an active thing and avoid spaces that harbor resentment, spaces like the manosphere. I'd like to respond to another thing that Sneako said in that last clip about society being unable to change.
Society's not going to change. This is evolution. This is basic biology. Your liberal bullshit is not going to forward the human race. It's going to make men into pussies, and it's going to make women stronger.
So if there was still
so many people saying pedo and shit.
any doubt in your mind as to whether or not Sneako has onboarded conservative ideology because of whatever he's been exposed to, there shouldn't be anymore. The view that society cannot change and that hierarchies are set in stone and that gender roles are biologically static, well, these are central tenets to conservative ideology. It's a philosophy that looks at existing societal and social structures and says, don't bother changing them, we like things the way they are. Like, why are women complaining about being catcalled when they're the ones going outside showing their human skin? Conservatism does this because these structures serve those holding power, while denying the possibility that those with lesser power might be ever brought to some form of equality. It says, no, we don't have to hold men accountable for harassing women on the street because boys will be boys. That's just the way it is, and women need to act accordingly. They need to let men do their thing, because if they don't, how else are we going to procreate? And that's why conservative ideology, quite frankly, sucks ass. And patriarchy does too.
I don't really... I don't know. Yeah, there's a bit of a straw man of conservative ideology, like, because Sneako is like, he's got kind of like some conservative leanings, but like that idea that that idea of like men going out and fucking loads all the way through their 20s and like what was it? Sneako wants to have like multiple wives, but they're all monogamous to him, and like Bugattis and bitches. That's not really like that's not really in line with like traditional conservative ideology. Like, that's where you could call out Sneako for living like a very contradictory mindset, because on the one end, he's talking about like he probably thinks like this trad wife, like 3 kids thing is like an ideal, but then also he's the complete opposite of that. He's like Trump, you know? Yeah, there's actually quite a bit of diversity when it comes to conservatives on that opinion. He reduced the amount of wives from 30 to 3 spiritual women. Yeah, exactly. That's not that conservative. Like, even the whole catcalling thing is not really like innate to conservative ideology. That's like, I don't know.
A lot of what I just described was actually patriarchy, but I'm too tired to rewrite everything.
Patriarchy.
So just, read The Will to Change by Bell Hooks. Thank you.
Why would it make a difference if you're online or out in public?
Because you're posting those photos.
Oh no. Read book. Maya Angelou.
Hooks. Thank you.
Why would it make a difference if you're online or out in public?
Because you're posting those photos for like a specific dating app while you're walking outside. It's like how you want to dress.
Walking outside at night is like a dating app. What do you think?
I'm being really judgmental here. I don't think it's necessarily applying to Noah. Like, if you have a book that you want to recommend to people, or usually I guess it would be like a part of a book that you think is quite important, is just share it. Just explain it. Just summarize it. Like, when I hear people saying you should read a book, it's like either they can't explain it like well enough themselves, whatever the contents of that book are, or I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Whenever someone tells me to read a book, I just think they're full of shit. I don't trust it. King, will you debate Sneako? If the opportunity presents itself, I could have a chat. Yeah. I would definitely need to, I don't know, drink about 17 coffees to keep up with the way he talks, but yeah, maybe.
People
read this book as the leftist version of do your own research. It kind of is, yeah. Because he just strawmanned the fuck out of conservatives and then said, read this book. So I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Out of the club for to hear you talk.
Dress this way because
like, you can make the criticism that contemporary conservative people are actually betraying conservative ideology a lot, because like Sneako is like a fucking hedonist. He is a full on, like, he's a product of liberal society. He is a terminally like online young content creator, fucking Bitcoin hedonist. That's what he is. He's the ultimate like pleasure seeker who doesn't want, who like is just completely setting himself up to fail at like achieving traditional conservative ideals. Like, he doesn't want a stable income to support a family. He wants like millions, and he doesn't want a stable marriage with a wife that he loves and is willing to spend the rest of his life with and devote himself to. He wants like 30 bitches. Like, he's not, yeah, like, he's actually not a very good conservative. And you can make that argument against a lot of contemporary conservatives because none of them are like that these days. That was the whole like, and calling it out in that way is really good for politically as well, because that was kind of like the downfall of the old Conservative Party in the UK with John Major, was because they kept on preaching this traditional back to basics conservative values, and all the MPs were like fucking their secretaries behind the scenes. And even John Major himself was having an affair with another MP. So like, that was kind of their downfall. And they were also involved in expenses scandals and shit like that. So, yeah.
I want to dress this way for me.
In real life, you can't swipe left. Swiping left.
Yeah, we do. That's looking at people at the club.
They want patriarchal standards for women, but not men. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like that's really smart.
We swipe right and left every single time we look at another person going out at night. It's the same exact It's the same. That's how Tinder was developed. To like that people who analyze and look at other people at the bar, it's the same thing.
So I didn't say swiping left and right. I said swiping left because I am specifically referring to instances where women have to turn down men's advances in real life and how this can lead to uncomfortable situations, harassment, or violence. I'm not talking about looking at people at the club and deciding whether or not you want to approach them. That's different. That's fine. My point was that matching with someone on Tinder means that you've passed a threshold of consent for the interaction, and in real life, that threshold doesn't exist. That's why these are different things, and why treating outfits as some signifier of consent ends up paving the way to victim-blaming rhetoric. Like, oh, if she didn't want to be assaulted or catcalled, she just shouldn't have been wearing that thing she was wearing. The blame lands ultimately on her for daring to not completely cover up, as Sneako has prescribed, as opposed to, just asking men to be better men. Accountability is the manosphere's kryptonite. Now, is this me telling all you boys out there to never approach a woman and just turn and run every time? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying,
So what are you saying?
is just be normal about it.
Be normal about it. I don't want to be you about it.
Okay, say something nice.
Yeah, you think he gets pussy with his attitude?
Nice.
Why do you think he's alone in his crib with his cat? He made an Instagram for his cat. That's not pussy getting behavior. I'm sorry. That's pussy posting behavior.
Hey, yo, chat, y'all think this guy gets pussy? Drop a W in the chat if you think this guy's always sucking and fucking all the time and being a little nasty freak all the time, in your opinion. No, but I never thought someone could be this deeply disturbed by a guy just sitting in his house with his cat. Like, again, I'm filming a YouTube video, man, and I have a cat. Do you want me to film my videos while at the club hitting on women? Would that be an acceptable way to present my content? Would that show you that I'm a real big, strong, handsome, tough man boy? The interviewer is very selective about which people and ideas that he pushes back against. He lets some people say some pretty wild stuff, just totally unchallenged, if not encouraged.
So why do so many women go around declaring themselves the prize?
Because they have pussies. It's much harder.
He lets people say, bro, it's an interview. They can say whatever the they want. You're not the word police. That's what liberals think. That you need to, deplatform this opinion.
I spy with my little eye another conservative talking point. Whoa. Oh my gosh. No way. No, but I'm not the word police. The interviewer is the word police. And my point is that he only does his word policing when subjects say things that challenge the misogynistic narrative.
Why do so many women think they have the golden pussy when every woman has one?
Because their entitlement, yes. The self-esteem has been inflated so much for social media, but this soy boy's gonna ignore all of that for his agenda.
So I have to ask, ignore all of what exactly? Ignore this guy talking about some general sense of entitlement he feels that women have? Ignore the women in this video that make what Sneako has deemed to be entitled statements? If we decide to stop ignoring these things, how does that change our understanding of gender or relationship in any meaningful sense? The answer is, it doesn't. The only response to watching someone say something that you feel like is entitled should be, wow, that's messed up. I don't like it when people say that. But I understand that this has no meaningful statistical bearing on reality, and I'm not going to allow this example to distort my attitudes towards an entire gender of people because I'm normal. Some people say weird stuff, some people say bad stuff, but it's foolish to use any of these in some broader narrative about the way the world works beyond your own.
God, these fucking like mid-sentence cold cuts are so difficult to, oh God. Okay, what's he saying? Let's go back. Wait. I lost it. I completely lost it.
That women have. Ignore the women in this video that make what Sneako has deemed to be entitled statements. If we decide to stop ignoring these things, how does that change our understanding of gender or relationship in any meaningful sense? The answer is, it doesn't.
I'm gonna go further back. Fuck it, let's go all the way.
About some general sense of entitlement he feels that
What was the question? Let's go there, okay.
This opinion.
I spy with my little eye another conservative
okay.
Just totally unchallenged, if not encouraged.
So why do so many women go around declaring themselves the prize?
Because
okay. Why do so many women go around just declaring themselves the prize? I don't know. Like, what fucking city are you in? What fucking town are you in where this is happening? I don't know. Can the guy who's getting interviewed just say, like, I don't really think that's the case. I don't think that they do that, you know?
they have pussies. It's much harder.
He lets people say, bro, it's an interview. They can say whatever the they want. You're not the word police. That's what liberals think. That you need to, deplatform this opinion.
I spy with my little eye another conservative talking point. Whoa. Oh my gosh. No way. No, but I'm not the word police. The interviewer is the word police. And my point is that he only does his word policing when subjects say things that challenge the misogynistic narrative.
Why do so many women think they have the golden pussy when every woman has one?
What? Oh, these questions are really fucking... Like, it's quite transparent, isn't it? Like, okay.
Because their entitlement, yes. The self-esteem has been inflated so much for social media, but this soy boy's gonna ignore all of that for his agenda.
So I have to ask, ignore all of what exactly?
Okay.
Ignore this guy talking about some general sense of entitlement he feels that women have. Ignore the women in this video that make what Sneako has deemed to be entitled statements. If we decide to stop ignoring these things, how does that change our understanding of gender or relationship in any meaningful sense?
To be honest, I feel like Sneako's quite young, and he's probably getting all of his samples from like nightclub culture in big American cities. And actually, if you do only go around nightclubs and very particular kinds of nightclubs, you probably will get an impression that women are shit. But you know why? Because everyone who goes to fucking nightclubs frequently in like city centers are probably quite shit. Or like fucking, or just letting like the worst version of themselves out at that point in time. Yeah, it's always people clubbing when they're drunk and they're like letting off after a fucking weekend, like at the end of a week or something. So, yeah. Yeah, you probably would get a bad impression of just about every human if you were in that environment.
Answer is, it does.
My answer then would be just like, if you keep seeing women who you detest in this way, is like, the problem, okay, the problem for someone like Sneako is that these women who he thinks are really entitled and are really like, I don't know, just low value are exactly the same kind of women that he would consider to be the prize, right? Young, and hot and promiscuous. Apart from they only like the promiscuous part insofar as they can get them themselves and then they want to stop. Yeah, like the prize woman to these guys is young and hot and can be found in a club. But at the same time, young and hot women who can be found in clubs are not really the best representative sample of like the average woman. Because even those same women from the clubs will sometimes be like, if you see them at any other point in the week, they might be completely different people. Like, yeah, clubs are a really fucked environment for meeting people. Like this is like a critique of club culture. But somehow it's like that's the sample for all men and women and all dating. Yeah.
The only response to watching someone say something that you feel like is entitled.
Yeah, in a club, everyone is trying to look like the prize. That's why in like these kind of like really big club culture cities, like men will go out in their t-shirts in the freezing cold because they want their fucking biceps to be on show. That's why Newcastle in the winter, like any fucking Newcastle club, nightclub winter scene. And they all look like, and it's all this shit, you know? Yeah. Just people freezing to death so they can. But I think this is Sneako's entire sample of like all the women. I don't know.
Should be, wow, that's messed up. I don't like it when people say that. But I understand that this has no meaningful statistical bearing on reality. And I'm not going to allow this example to distort my attitudes.
Well, try and, I don't know, maybe just like try and engage with where it's coming from. Like, I think it's such an easy comment, right? To say that these samples are coming from nightclubs in densely populated cities. In liberal cities, you know, like the kind of places where you would go to find your like quote unquote prize. And yeah, but there's definitely, fuck. I wonder if Sneako has a way out of that though. The fact that the kind of women he considers the prize are also the exact same kind of women that he has like the most derision for.
Towards an entire gender of people because I'm normal. Some people say weird stuff, some people say bad stuff, but it's foolish to use any of these in some broader narrative about the way the world works beyond your own experiences. This is just the whole Andrew Tate can't explain why the earth is round thing. You might see a flat horizon and get pretty worked up that the horizon's flat, clearly, so why are people talking about a round earth? But because we can research these things, we know there's more to it than that.
Having to be afraid all the time, walking around here alone or any place.
Okay, is it realistic to think that nobody should ever feel unsafe?
If it's realistic, I don't know, but it's...
That's a great question. I don't really feel safe walking around. You don't hear complaining and victimizing myself every second.
Yeah, Sneako. Yeah, yeah, definitely. This is the kind of guy who's going to get followed into a fucking dark lane at night and shit. Yeah, okay, come on, man.
When I walk in Florida, I'm about to conceal carry everywhere I go. But I'm a victim. That's just, you act accordingly. If you don't feel safe walking around at night alone as a woman, maybe stay inside and put on a burqa.
Yeah, so self-explanatory there. No need to respond to that. Have to include it though, just because he apparently thinks I need to selectively edit him to make him look bad. No, man, you don't need my help with that.
I think that me in heels looks a lot better than me in just a pair of sweatpants. I do feel better, and that is still for me. Even if it's not the most comfortable.
It's for you? Why?
See, this is the thing when you act as if like nothing they're saying needs to be responded to accordingly, but you're also making a response video to the person. It makes me wonder like what your aim is, you know? You're kind of trying to do like both things there. You're kind of trying to do the like the hug box content, but also with the aesthetic of confrontation, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's just it's way too easy of a question to answer, but yeah.
Why does it make you feel better that you're in heels? Because you get more attention.
Oh.
Doesn't make you, it's not more comfortable. It's not about you, it's about the attention you get.
Notice how he cannot conceptualize a woman without viewing her through her relationship to men. Like, she couldn't possibly make any action or decision that wasn't implicitly tied to men in some way. This actually reminds me of something I learned in a great video from Chill Goblin called Gender Theory for Dudes. He cites second-wave feminist scholar Simone de Beauvoir on her concept that women have always been understood to be the secondary gender.
Beauvoir believed that men don't have a marked gender in the way that women do, that men are considered the default human being, whereas women are the ones that have actual gender signifiers. What is a woman? Well, here's a list of specific things. What is a man? A man can be anything except those things on the woman list.
So when Sneako says it's not about you, it's about the attention you get, he is reinforcing this notion that her decision to wear what she wants isn't actually her decision. It must be inextricably linked to the needs and wants of men, even though she's explicitly saying that that is not the case. And here's where they'll say something like, well, she's lying, Noah, or she doesn't even know what she wants. We all know why she's really dressed that way. She'll just never admit it. And that is where I would say, hey man, you're being a bit of an incel right now. Can you please be normal? And on top of that, even if she had said in her interview, I wear the clothes that I wear to attract male attention, okay, who cares? People do that, and that's their choice. But it is extremely weirdo shit to assume that anyone saying anything to the contrary must be lying. You little sussy little freaks. Stop.
Maybe more American women should serve in the army, and they'll know how to defend themselves.
Maybe more men needs to not be attacking.
Well, I think we can do both.
Maybe.
I think we can do both.
Yeah, the problem here is because obviously Sneako thinks his behavior is normal, right? Like he thinks he's doing what men are like evolutionarily programmed to do. It's just like two diametrically opposed people screaming at each other for the other one to be normal. Why can't you just be normal? You can't be normal. Yeah, okay. All right.
Wow.
Wow. Accountability for both genders. That's so problematic in incel.
Wow. Imagine. These guys always talk about accountability, okay? Holding women accountable. The top comment on this video literally says, Kevin Samuels said it best, accountability is women's
I read that comment. Okay.
kryptonite. But they would rather make women go into the army.
Nope. He's saying we should both take accountability because men definitely do.
To learn how to defend.
Men go to jail for this shit. Women are not ever held responsible for what they do in relationships. They're always the victim. And you're really just twisting up the words and not understanding it because you're such a fucking liberal bot.
Oh, I'm not twisting any words there. I have them written down, in fact. The interviewer says, maybe more American women should serve in the army and then they'll know how to defend themselves. And the woman responds, maybe more men need to stop attacking women. Then he says, we need to do both. Forgive me for thinking that we don't need to do both of those things. My bad. I'll go call my mom and sisters and let them know to strap up the fatigues because it's time for some girl boss imperialism. So he closes out the video by doing more of the, I'm predicting this guy's life, I'm so very smart thing.
We know you're boosted up. We know what you think. We know you had BLM in your bio. You probably had he, him. I don't know when you deleted it, but you had he, him in your bio for a bit, bro. Never use the word.
Oh, God. This is so funny to me. Like, how much, like, it's like the whole hour is just them, like, using, like, stereotyping and buzzwords on each other back and forth. Like, of course you're, like, an incel, manosphere, red pill. That's so... Dude, just be normal. Of course you have he, him pronouns in your bio and BLM and liberal, and you say things like problematic, and of course you're a cuck, and like, just be normal, bro. Okay.
NPC again when we know you voted for Biden.
And it's still very silly. He says, we know you're boosted up, implying that getting vaccinated is only something you do if you're an NPC, because conservative talking point number 5,286. He's an anti-vaxxer? No way. Who could have... There's no... The best part, though, is when he tries to, like, predict that I have a video on Andrew Tate.
There's a chance to chat. Like, I want to predict this guy. You think he has a video calling Andrew Tate a trafficker? He's got to have a video calling Andrew Tate problematic. And I want to figure him out because I got really tight that he started saying NPC like he knows some shit.
And then when he doesn't find it, he searches for it.
Let's go to his channel real quick. Oh, we know what he thinks about abortions for sure. Damn, all of his videos are debunking red pill TikTok. Where's his video calling Tate problematic? Oh, there he is. This podcast hates women, making fun of Fresh and Fit. Shout out Fresh and Fit.
And then when he doesn't find it, he says, well, it must be in that playlist that he made, the Manosphere Deprogramming playlist.
Where's the Tate video? Come on, man. Incel content's dangerous. There's got to be more media too, even though he follows me.
Oh,
Manosphere
Sneako.
deprogramming, so it's in this.
Which is a playlist comprised entirely of other people's videos. So yeah, it turns out he was a psychic after all.
Debunking red pill TikTok. I don't feel like watching this guy anymore.
Okay, thank God we're done. I know that this video might have seemed like a bit of a waste of time, especially if you're a regular viewer of mine, but I do think it can sometimes be helpful to spend time engaging with this sort of stuff and evaluating the sorts of things that are being said, the ideas that are being spread, regardless of how ridiculous and backwards they might seem. Because unfortunately, saying ridiculous, sexist things on the internet and being rewarded for it, that's the state of things right now. That's why Sneako fits into this system perfectly. He's following the Andrew Tate strategy, and it's working, and nothing that I say is going to stop that. But at the very least, members of his audience that are all in on this stuff, they might stumble upon my video here and see another side of the story, and that's all I can really hope for. And perhaps I'm falling for the bait.
Maybe the Sneako fans will read that book I recommend. Yeah, you know, we can always be hopeful. Miffed Muffin, thanks for the subscribe tier 1 sub for the tier 1 sub. Okay.
By engaging with it, you know? After all, Sneako's second channel has gained 500,000 subscribers in a single month while parroting standard NPC red pill and conservative talking points and doing things like uncritically platforming a literal neo-Nazi. This is all correlated with the release of his brand new influencer course, where you can pay a one-time fee of $250 to learn about the secrets behind becoming a successful content creator. No way. He's scamming his audience? No way. I can't believe this. I'm not forking up the cash to see what's contained in there, but I really hope that his advice has nothing to do with making the type of content that he makes now, because if it does, well, we're in for some real trouble. Anyways, that's it. Thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Thanks. Bye.
Big drama stream, huge. Okay. So go weigh up the pros and cons. Sneako is problematic and misogynistic and patriarchal and an incel. And NPC. And Noah Samson is a cuck, liberal, he, him pronouns, BLM, soy boy. Can't imagine why these two have no... Can't imagine why there's so much lack of communication between these two people. What the fuck is this? So, yeah, Noah said no. What is this? Yeah, no chance. I've seen how those convos go. I don't know. I feel like the conversations that Sneako's had with people so far have been reasonable. Not like he's been reasonable, but the conversations have gone like, you know, there's been adequate pushback and whatever the fuck else. But okay, let's see. What's this weirdo saying?
You're lying. You're fucking lying. I know. I know what's inside you. Stop.
He's weird. Yeah, weird guy. What was this Sneako Fuentes debate like? They didn't really debate. Sneako agrees with Fuentes on quite a lot of things. And Fuentes is clever enough not to say all the things that Sneako disagrees with right away while they're building bridges and such. What an interesting drama video. Wow. Big drama. All the drama. What was the book that Noah recommended? Is it in the description of the video? I don't think he has. When are you debating Swerf and Turf? Thanks for the 200 bits, Maruzzi. I appreciate that. When am I debating Swerf and Turf? I don't know, because my internet's still fucked and I need to get a replacement hub. It isn't coming on Monday until Monday, so I am fucked on that front. I might order a 30-meter fucking Ethernet cable for tomorrow, though, just as a substitute, and see if that does anything. If it doesn't, I've lost £10. Big deal. In the meantime, chat, there are plenty of you viewing right now. What I think you got to do instead for the moment is get your wallets out so I can buy that book that Noah recommended. Need to get my book budget up. I need more books on my shelf so people think I'm smart when I do videos.
Can be Britain's hardest.
Duncan Danger, thanks for the $11.81. Happy Friday, Loner. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.